an enormous amount of evidence, although a lot of it was suppressed in this case as opposed to the UK.
Amber Heard's attorney stated on NBC Today on Thursday that her client absolutely wants to appeal a Virginia jury's decision finding the actress liable for defaming Johnny Depp in her Washington Post op-ed claiming domestic abuse. She has only a few days left to state an appeal and has to fund the entire damages. If she does appeal, it will be to the Virginia Supreme Court. So what did Amber's attorney have to say about the appeal? What does the general public think? Keep watching to find out. In the interview, Bredehoft blamed Heard's loss on a variety of factors, including evidentiary decisions and the influence of social media. Elaine Bredehoft then addressed the appeal and told Savannah Guthrie she has some excellent grounds for it. She was demonized here, said Bredehoft. A number of things were permitted in this court that should not have been permitted, and this confused the jury. She cited a different outcome in the United Kingdom where a court ruled against Depp after he sought a judgment against the Sun for calling him a wife-beater. She stated that Heard's team was permitted to inform the jury about the UK judgment. As a result, the damages are completely skewed. There are no injuries. It came to an end on November 2nd, 2020, when the UK judgment was handed down. Depp was awarded $10 million in compensatory damages and $5 million in punitive damages by a Virginia jury. However, Judge Penny Askerit quickly reduced the punitive damages to the allowed maximum of $350,000. When asked if Heard could afford the nearly $10.4 million, Bredehoft replied, "Oh no, certainly not." The jury also awarded her $2 million in damages for one of Depp's attorney's claims that she and her friends staged one of the couple's arguments at their downtown Los Angeles penthouse, and that the actress's allegations were a hoax. According to Bredehoft, one of the first things Heard said after the verdict was, "I am so sorry to all those women out there. This is a setback for all women in and out of the courtroom, and she bears the burden." Really, what happened here is a tale of two trials, she added. They were not permitted to tell the jury that the UK court found that Mr. Depp had committed at least 12 acts of domestic violence, including sexual violence against Amber. So what did Depp's crew take away from this? Amber should be condemned and the evidence should be suppressed. We had a massive amount of evidence suppressed in this case, which was in the UK case. Depp's team, she said, was able to suppress the medical records, which were very significant because they showed a pattern. Amber reported this to her therapist back in 2012, for example. "When I told him he kicked you, he cried," said one of Mr. Depp's assistants. "He is truly sorry. That did not arrive." Bredehoft also speculated that jurors who were instructed not to look at media coverage of the trial were likely aware of what was going on social media, where sentiment was overwhelmingly in favor of Depp. Every night they went home. They have households. The families have taken to social media. We took a 10-day break in the middle for a judicial conference. There's no way they weren't influenced by it. And it was terrible. It was incredibly lopsided. The way they view the entire case is reminiscent of the Roman Colosseum. Bredehoft also stated her opposition to cameras in the courtroom, which she claimed made the trial a zoo. Bredehoft believes the jury verdict for Depp sends a horrible message, because that is exactly what it means. It is a significant setback. Unless you take out your phone and record your spouse or significant other beating you, you are effectively powerless. A user stated that "I believe the appeal is merely a public relations and negotiating ploy. She won't win the appeal, and even if she does, the cost of another trial for both parties isn't worth it." Another stated, "I'm not a lawyer. I just noticed questionable tactics in demand negotiations." Can Amber proceed as a pro se litigant and file an appeal with filing fees? I only hear this nonsense in divorce mediation cases. Papers were signed under a mediation agreement, which is not legally binding, and the ex had already filed a pro se petition that was unknown to the other party. One user asked, "How does this work if she has no grounds for appeal?" Another replied her lawyers filed a notice of appeal, briefs with alleged errors, an appellate court panel reviews, oral argument is scheduled. The appeals court issues a written decision rejecting her arguments, and the trial court judgment is upheld. Users also commented that someone else will foot the bill. Today's crazy days and nights has a blind item about her. Elon allegedly set her up with a friend on whose jet she was flying today. Whoever it is will most likely pay for it. Users further said that before she can file an appeal, she must post a $15 million bond to cover her judgment and JD's legal fees. Someone might be willing to pay her legal fees for an appeal, but I doubt anyone wants to cover her losses. Another user further said she must appeal because failing to do so appears to imply that she admitted to defaming him. She'll file an appeal to save face. But how many times can you file an appeal? Can she simply continue to appeal until she dies, or does he, or what? On that, a reply came as she can appeal to an intermediate appellate court. And if she loses there, she can appeal to the Virginia Supreme Court. This is not an automatic appeal. It is up to the court to grant or deny. In theory, she can ask SCOTUS to review, but there are no constitutional issues, and SCOTUS will not do so. It may take years, but she'll be finished and will have no further options for appellate review. Do you think Amber will appeal in the Virginia Supreme Court? Let us know in the comments down below. Like and subscribe for more updates on all things pop culture.